Satnam Hari Jiwan Singh, you are teaching at Summer Solstice 2013 this year, and I was wondering if you could elaborate on the first Aquarian Sutra of the five, recognize the other person as you. What is the expression mean, recognize that the other person is you?
That's an interesting question because first off the bat, the easy answer is that we recognize that everything is God, so the other person is you, so there's no difference between you and he. So once you realize that, it removes a lot of the angst and insecurity that come with dealing with another person as if they were someone to be dealt with rather than someone to be helped. That's true, and that is an important facet. As a matter of fact, I remember when I first heard that sutra, it changed my life because no longer did I feel that I was better than the other person, or that the other person was better than I was, or more importantly, that because of how they looked or how they acted or how they thought, I could feel removed from them. How could this stupid person or this ugly person be part of who I was? Well, once you adapt that into your psyche, it changes how you reflect and how you act towards them. But on a different level, the sutra means that once you recognize the other person as you, you recognize not only that God is inside of all of us, but that inside of you is a sense of compassion, a sense of gratitude, a sense of understanding that in dealing with other people, you're really dealing with yourself. And it becomes a sadhana. It becomes a way of looking at your actions and reactions to others as a reflection of how you're reflecting towards the world. And with that in mind, you start to view yourself objectively and compassionately and consciously. And in doing so, you start to change how you reflect towards the world. You start to, for the yogic person, the conscious person, the person who is working on themselves, they start to look at themselves as a reflection of the whole, not a reflection of the individual. They start to look at how they're dealing with themselves, how they're acting towards their own insecurities, and if they get angry at someone else or some other thing, they turn that around and get angry at themselves for getting angry for nothing. If they get frustrated with the world or some other thing, they don't get frustrated with something else. They realize that something else is themselves, so they turn that frustration back on themselves so that they use it to their advantage. If they get another insecurity, anger, frustration, hate, big one, jealousy. You get jealous at yourself for not being conscious enough to be able to deal with the world in a more constructive manner. This is how that first sutra really helps in not just identifying who you are, but building who you are and identifying with what you need to be. And it's a very powerful sutra, and it's a sutra of what we call pratyahar. It's a sutra of turning yourself inside of yourself, to go inside yourself, to zero yourself, to shunya yourself, so that you understand there's no difference in who you are and who it is, and thus when you balance yourself out, when you find that middle ground where there is no difference between you and them, when I and thou become the same, you become elevated. A very powerful sutra, and one when used properly can elevate you unto infinity.
What is a sutra, Hari Jivan, and how is recognize the other person as you a sutra?
Sutra in classical terms means bead, string. And sutra is one of the strings on the strand, the necklace of consciousness that you apply to yourself to help yourself in that path towards elevation. So sutra is a bead, of which there are many sutras, which when added together make you whole and make you real. That's what a sutra is.
What are you teaching this year at 2013 Summer Solstice Sadhana Celebration?
I haven't read what I'm teaching about. I have to read it over again, but I can tell you what it's going to be about. It's going to be about how you find yourself happier and live a more joyful life. That's what it's all about. And that deals with an elevated life. And the purpose of life is happiness, and the meaning of life is to elevate yourself. So it all leads to that, and that's where we're going to go. Sadhana.